Lee and I were both married before, and I think you'll agree, we kind of let things simmer and didn't address them because our previous partners weren't as, they were conflict avoiders.
Right.
And so I'm definitely a conflict avoider. And so you think, well, we're not fighting, so we must be doing okay. But you have a different opinion on that, don't you?
I do. If a couple comes in and they tell me, oh, we never fight, we never argue, what I hear is, oh, we never communicate.
Ooh.
So
that's why I fight all the time.
Yeah, you've
just kidding.
You're a really good communicator.
I'm more the aggressor.
She's a very good communicator. That's true.
Well,
yes.
you are excellent communicators. See our relationship.
See, I can guess. That's very validating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very validating.
Yeah, and couples that are highly conflict avoidant, they become very vulnerable to affairs and divorce. Because typically what happens is we're afraid of conflict, and there's never a good time to have a fight. We're having a good day. I don't want to ruin it. We're having a bad day. I don't want to make it worse. So we just kick the can down the road. And oftentimes what happens is we stuff it until it blows. And there's an explosion over something that oftentimes seems seemingly very benign.
Right.
So part of what I teach couples is to not avoid the conflict. One of the things that I see really often is that couples do not ask for what they want or need because they're afraid, because that makes them feel vulnerable. And vulnerability can feel really scary. I think oftentimes people think that vulnerability is weak, but it's actually the opposite. I think it takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable. So without vulnerability, there's really no connection. So it's allowing couples to feel safe in their marriage or in their relationships so that they can be vulnerable and increase that emotional connection.
Well, what about the opposite? What about two people that go at it all the time and you can't even get a word in edgewise between them?
Does that mean they're doomed?
Yeah.
It does not. But in those situations I'm teaching them how to be better listeners, one. Oftentimes when we are having a discussion, I'm not really hearing what you're saying. I am listening to respond or convince.
Right.
Instead of listening to understand. So if the whole time you're talking, I'm just thinking like, when is she gonna shut up so that I can tell her that she's wrong or I can prove that I'm right, that I'm not really hearing what you're saying. And Gottman says, until you have truly heard what your partner is saying, you have not earned the right to respond.
Interesting.
So 69% of conflict is not resolvable, meaning that there's not some nice tidy bow that we can put on the end of our disagreements. So if I think the only way for conflict to be healthy is that we have to come to an agreement, then basically 2/3 of the time I'm gonna feel like we failed. So we're moving our goal from agreement to understanding. We don't have to agree about whatever the conflict is, because we're different people. You guys are not always going to agree, and oftentimes that creates a lot of frustration. But if the goal is just to try to understand our partner better, then that makes them feel more seen, it makes them feel safe, it makes them feel heard, and that increases the emotional connection, which at the end of the day is what we all want. Sometimes couples will say, if someone's looking for a partner, I want someone that likes to travel, or I want someone that has a lot of money, or whatever. And there's not anything necessarily wrong with those things, but those are not the things that are gonna really sustain your relationship. It's feeling emotionally safe, emotionally connected, and knowing that you're there for me. At the end of the day, I know I can count on you. So that's what we're looking to improve when it comes to couples therapy.
I thought you said something interesting when we first came in here off camera, that a lot of people go to therapy to get their partner to change.
Yeah.
That's not what happens
Yeah,
here.
it's not me, it's them.
Right.
If you could just fix them, we wouldn't have any problems.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you'll hear, well, I wouldn't do this if she didn't do that.
Right.
And that's called being in a state of hostile dependency. So what we want to do, and I ask every couple, what is your role in this situation? I do not want to hear what your partner has done to hurt you. I want to hear how you have contributed to the issue. And when someone has a lot of self-awareness and they can reflect back and take responsibility, that goes a really long way.
Yeah. Well, I feel better already,
I mean,
Lee.
I do too. And I am very sorry for being bossy, Taylor.
Well, and I'm very sorry for not being more compliant.
I think I'm just projecting the fact that I like to control things onto you.
I agree. I agree. You've done a wonderful job.
We came to an agreement.
We came to an agreement.
I love it. I love
Yes. So people can book an appointment with you. You'll help them walk through their couple issues, be their coach.
Coach, I love that.
I love this aspect of it. We feel so much better already. And so I thank you for your time.
I do want to ask you one more thing, because if we can't come in person, you said you have something coming up, an online.
Yes, so I've just launched an online program for couples. So as of right now, it's just a do-it-yourself. I've weeded through what I feel like are the most effective methods, all the information that I feel like has been most helpful with my couples. So I've gone through all that information and I've condensed it. And I have an online course that couples can do. And then starting in 2026, I also plan to add coaching with that.
Wonderful.
All right.
Lots of options. Okay, thank you so much.
No,
We're going to have
thank you.
all of Missy's information up on the screen. All right, there you go. Improve your relationship just like Lee and I did with the help of Missy Ammerman. All of her information is on the screen.
All right, coming up next, we're taking a look back to last year on Christmas Eve, where me and Tam took on Andrew and Allison in a game of Pictionary. You're not going to want to miss this.